So another type of thing which we use the analytics for a little bit is we can make use of auditing. So within the VAST cluster, I do have auditing turned on, and where we have auditing set up is I can go through, we can set the default auditing for a particular platform, and I can set some audit baselines. So in this case here, I'm saying I'm not keeping the audit logs for very long. I'm only keeping them for 12 hours. I'm saving them to the VAST database. And I'm going to come in here and I'll be able to look at the baseline settings here. So I'm actually auditing quite a bit for this, but I want to go through and look at these audit logs. So let's say a user comes to me and says, hey, I was looking for this file. I had a file sitting in my directory that is no longer there. Let's say I had a file. Let's see if I've got it in my history here for this. Can I put in my history or not? Maybe I don't. I had a file called cheese.txt. And cheese.txt, when I go through and I look for it now, it's no longer there. Somebody deleted my file, moved my file. What happened to that? What happened to that data? Well, I got auditing turned on. I can go through, I can look at the audit logs and find that information. So this would be under database. I can go through and look at the audit logs here, and I can locate that information very, very quickly. So let's say I want to go through and I want to do a query against this. Let's say I want to say, hey, which user group went through and did a query here against this. Somebody went through and did a query of a rename operation for this. And I want to go through and I want to say the path for this, or in this case here, because it was a rename, when you specify the rename path, is exactly pwags mixed / cheese.txt. I can add that in, and I can go through and run a query against this, and I can see exactly when this was done and who did it. So I will see from this that there was a rename operation, an NFSv4 operation that was done for this, where this cheese file was moved or changed to something else. I can get this out of the audit logs through looking at some of these columns. Now, this here would tell you where, possibly where it went to. We'd see this under a path variable that would show up here, and I don't believe I have the column showed here. But we can go through and get that out of the column here. So I see I want to get the path. This will tell me where this was moved to. So I can say that this was moved, and it was moved to a directory called vastuser1 cheese.txt. I can also go through and determine if I want to see, well, hey, who did this? I can get out of this here. I can find the actual user that did this. Select the login name of the user that had that there. Hold on a second here. Look at that. Come on, query. Let's rerun this query. So I'd be able to get that information there. So I could pull that from this here. But another way of doing it is that if I was going through and I had, let's say, this is a database, we can go through and make use of an external query engine, like let's say Trino, to go through. I can write these kind of transactions here like this, where I'm going to go through, I'm looking this up, I'm looking for a rename operation here against this from NFSv4. I can go through and run this against the cluster, and within a few seconds, I will get a response back that will give me that information. I'm looking for the time something was done, what the user there was, where they did it from, where they moved it from, what they moved to, and I see in here that I'm going to say is that, hey, this was moved by vastuser1, moved from here, and moved to that. So I can determine from the audit logs very quickly where things were done, were taken from.